What I loved about the manga, part 2, I also liked their take on the yokai hierarchy and their need for water, and what the downside is when they don't have it. Like we seen with Tetsuno, like in the very beginning when he needed the water and he nearly died. It was kind of cool seeing how they showed their weaknesses. I also found it interesting on the cardinal directions and how each direction had its chief and how each direction had its own rules and law. Like we knew his father was the western chief, so it indicated that there was a chief for north, south, and east, and how each chief made their own law. There was no universal law, so it was kind of cool seeing how each area ran their districts. I also liked their take on mating and conceiving, like how will and choice played a factor into the lovemaking, and really bringing another layer to the supernatural aspect of the creation, and things like that, which is nice take since it's not done that often. Like the creation of having will and choice being a factor in the conception of a being, it's not done that often, and so it's kind of cool seeing how the author took that take and ran with it in this piece. It was really done well, and it was a beautiful representation. Another thing I loved was that labels match the story, meaning we do get to see cute scenes between the couples regarding the pregnancy, a live birth, and some very adorable but mischievous little ones. Like their kids are completely nutty, and it's just adorable seeing their interactions and their antics. It's just hilarious. It's not only the part of the video I truly makes me sad, which is what I disliked about the manga. I only had 3 pet peeves with the story, which were 1, I wish we could have seen more sexual development between the characters, because even though the ones we had were steamy, authentic, and full of passion, but they were few and far between. I just wish we could have seen more of them to see the progression from new lovers in that awkward phase to them being well aware of each other's likes and dislikes in the bed as much as we did outside the bedroom. The second thing was I wish we had more backstory regarding the uncle and how long he knew about the yokai world, because we get some hints about how he found out, but they never went into detail about what age he was when he found out and how he really found out and what his feelings were regarding it, along with why he never told anybody. So it left a lot of questions regarding the uncle and made him feel somewhat underdeveloped in some aspects of personality and character development, which was a shame since he was a very frequent we saw secondary character. We saw the uncles from practically almost every aspect of the book with barely any intel on how he knew what he knew, which is a sad thing regarding that. And lastly, the last thing was the half-baked foreshadowing regarding future relationships. What I mean by this is it hints at future relationships and getting some glimpse of their development and act like there would be more to the story, but they never expand on them, which was kind of misleading and very disappointing since it was so much material they could have been used and said about the 2 couples that were developed and hinted at. What I mean by this is there's 2 couples other than the main couples we see, and at the very end it hints that there's more to them and that we'd be seeing more of it, but we didn't, which was sadly very misleading and a very sour taste in the reader's mouth who wanted to know more about these couples. Synopsis and final thoughts. To sum it all up, this was a wonderful take on the yokai mythology and story, along with never judging a book by its cover, and that opposites can attract, and that one person can really help you learn and grow a lot from what you were to what you could become, along with some very nice steaminess and adorable moments and banter between the characters and the art style that it had was breathtaking and makes you want to see more of it. It just has so many good lessons, and the story was such a classic and enjoyable piece. So after counting up the good parts and the bad parts of the story, I would give it a rating of, please, manga reading 4 out of 5 stars, and would highly recommend to read. So that's the end of this week's segment. I can't wait to see you guys until next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful weekend. Ciao, Bellas!